Hi, and welcome to the Route to CISO Podcast. It's me, Chris Rides. I'm going to be your host, and I'm going to be chatting to seasoned Chief Information Security Officers about their career journeys. We're going to be unencrypting their real-life stories and searching for the hidden keys to help you fast-track your cybersecurity career. You mentioned MBA before, and that's quite interesting because I don't think you need one. And there's many people that have been very successful without an MBA, and there are some that have been very, very successful without even a degree. But what I will say is I do get asked quite a bit, what certifications or what are the certifications, or what do people want to see in terms of that kind of education sort of related stuff for a CISO. I would say that I've not. Like there's not really a certification that says I think you can be a certified CISO. Nobody's asking for that, right? I think an MBA is the closest you'll get to any kind of education that is pretty well respected, and especially at the very big enterprises. But I don't know whether you've got any sort of light to shed on that stuff.
Yeah, I think there are organizations that are looking for like a CISSP or a CISM. I do think a lot of organizations have embraced we get experience in really good background from a whole host of different ways. Mm-hmm. It's not as if you don't have this, you have no opportunity. The only certification I've ever had is I had GPEN. Back when I was trying to put the penetration testing program in place, and I needed to understand how to pen test, and so I got GPEN back in my earlier career when I was a manager. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. They're important and absolutely influential frameworks. The information that you are researching and that you're understanding is fundamental to what we do. But that is not the only way that people recognize experience. Yep.
That's 100% true. I think you've given an amazing example of when it's right to do a certification, which is when you need to learn something about that subject or when it's of interest to you, right? The CISSP, you're right, is the one that, if you work in GRC, maybe a CISA, if not the CISSP, those are the two that we see mostly on job descriptions. Now, what should I do is the question I get, and it's always what is the area you're interested in? What area do you want to work within? Follow where that's pushing you. Don't think that a certification is going to change your career trajectory, because they really don't, right?
Yeah, and I see a lot of resumes that come across, and it's just there's just tons of certifications on there. Mm-hmm. And there is a moment in which I'm like, wow, that's a lot of certifications. And the amount of times I've seen a lot of certifications, and then when I've gotten on the call, the challenge of being able to actualize that knowledge into functional work has been a challenge. And it's not saying that there's anything wrong with the certification process, but I do think when you just dump into memorization to pass certifications, it becomes a challenge within our environment, because we get certification burnt.
Yep.
Because we need the skills in the background along with it. And sometimes when we just see certifications across the board, we don't see that you're also involved in the community, or that you are talking to active on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
That you're doing CTFs, that you are actively trying to participate and have a portfolio of real actionable things in experience. It's a lot harder to look at like 10 certifications on a resume and then, okay, well, your stuff. Generally, I'm going to see that and I'm going to say, okay, they got 10 certifications over the course of 2 years. How much of that do they really remember? And what how did they actualize that into experience?
Yeah, that's I see a lot of resumes that are like that, and when you look at those people, they're going to be very good generally at the stuff they remembered. So maybe the textbook answers, but that's like a pet hate of most of the hiring managers. They don't want the textbook answers. What they want is an answer to, have you done this before? Commercially, yes or no, and then an explanation of what you did. And if you were a part of a team, that's great. And most managers don't look for somebody that can do everything. In fact, I would say that's also what people don't look for. If you can do everything, then where's the gap? Where's the opportunity to grow into that job? And where's the longevity in it as well? So yeah, you're right. When people have too many, there's so many other broader ways to help themselves and build their experience other than just sticking to the one.
Thank you for listening to the Route to CISO podcast. If there's something you really want me to ask on the next episode, or if you're a CISO who wants to inspire the next generation, please reach out. I'll leave a URL to my LinkedIn profile and make sure you connect and message me there. We're always looking for feedback, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.